Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 44 of Reasons to Hope. I am out in my garden and I have been super inspired by these crazy wildflowers that have been growing behind me all summer long. I planted them in what was originally a pit full of rubber chips. And when I moved into this house, it had been left there. I think they had a playground or something before that. And so it was kind of this ongoing project that I slowly chipped away at over the spring, just digging out all these chips and finally revealing some soil underneath that needed a lot of love. And so because I didn't have a lot of time or a lot of love for it, I went to this place called American Meadows and I found a packet of seeds, and I think it was like $5, and I scattered them one very cold morning in May. And I remember thinking there's no way that anything could grow here. And it took all summer, and in fact, nothing actually. I had these itty bitty little flowers, and then a couple of weeks ago, I woke up and there was just a whole field full, and they were all like so much taller than me. But it's rained a ton, and we are in November, and so this is the last of them. But I wanted to share them with you because they've given me a lot to think about lately, about hope and about the seasons. And we're in Ohio. Normally the frost line here is mid-October, but it's been an unusual year and it hasn't gotten cold just yet. And so I find myself every day wondering if I need to come out here and clip all of these and give them to my neighbors, or just set them out on the sidewalk in a bucket and invite anyone to take them, because I know that at any moment they will be gone. And I think that for me, this time of year is so beautiful because it's also so heartbreaking, and it really gives us an opportunity to think of the immediacy of the moment and the life that we're given, and how God's creation reflects these beautiful cycles that happen every year through the seasons. The leaves are all about to go, but I know right now I'm definitely going to go for a hike later on before the sun sets, because this is just such a beautiful time to remember what we've been given. And especially on All Saints Day, and thinking of just the ways that our lives are short on this earth, but long in eternity. And as believers, we can say with confidence of faith, that this is an experience we get to have here, where we extend love to one another, and then we can hope for a future where we can celebrate God's creation in all its perfection. So I wrote about that on Root and Vine News. I would love for you to check it out, rootandvinenews.com. I'd love to hear what's giving you reasons to hope this week. How are you experiencing the beginning of November, which seems insane to me? But I love this time of year because it's also not only letting go and a passing of seasons, but it's a time to celebrate through the holidays and reflect on how far we've come and where we're heading. And so I hope that you're all feeling all the feels and letting yourself feel all of them, because I know it's a lot to process. I know for me tonight, I'm also going to be cutting down all these flowers and thinking how this was an incredible spring, summer, and fall, and I'm hopeful for what is ahead. So I want to read you a little poem. I'm going to go through some autumn affirmations. I figured this was a good time to kind of reflect on just some of the goodness that we have in our lives that is all around us in scriptures and in poetry and in song. And in song, just a reminder, we do have that awesome Reasons to Hope playlist on Spotify. If you're looking for something to uplift your day, I highly recommend you go to Root and Vine on Spotify and hit that Reasons to Hope playlist. Okay. So I was thinking about, the beauty of the flowers and all creation and the seasons, and I love the book of Hosea. It's a beautiful book in the Old Testament. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, it's about this prophet and this kind of saga he has with his wife, and he had an incredible story, but some of what he writes so poetically, and he said, "Let us acknowledge the Lord. Let us press on to acknowledge him. As surely as the sun rises, he will appear. He will come to us like the winter rains, like the spring rains that water the earth. He will come to us like the winter rains, like the spring rains that will water the earth." So again, just this acknowledgement of in all seasons, there's the presence of God, and we can acknowledge that and find hope in that. And then I really, really love another affirmation in Job. Job is also a pretty incredible book. Great book to read in the winter. Very dark, but full of hope. "I know that my Redeemer lives, and that in the end he will stand on the earth. And after my skin has been destroyed, yet in my flesh I will see God. I myself will see him with my own eyes, I and not another. How my heart yearns within me. That's Job 19. How my heart yearns within me. Because in Jeremiah, another great prophet, I'm just into the Old Testament prophets these days. I guess it's something about autumn. He says, and I will give them a heart to know me, that I am the Lord, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God, for they shall return unto me with their whole heart. It's pretty powerful. And finally, I can't, stand in a field of flowers without thinking of what Jesus said in Matthew. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single day to your life? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you, not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. I would agree. If that is how God clothes the grass of the fields, which are here today and tomorrow thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? And finally, I'm going to close it out today with a poem by Mary Oliver, but I want to remind you how much you encourage me just by sharing what gives you reasons to hope. I can't believe we've been doing this for 44 weeks. If this is your first time joining us, we've been writing the Book of Hope together, taking time every week to just take a moment and think of what brings us gratitude, what gives us reasons to hope, sharing it occasionally on our socials with the hashtag Reasons to Hope, and then every Monday we gather on Instagram Live at Root and Vine News and talk about it. So we will see you next week with a very special guest for Veterans Day. I'm going to close it out with Mary. This is Fall Song. Another year gone, leaving everywhere its rich, spiced residues, vines, leaves, the uneaten fruits crumbling damply in the shadows, unmattering back from this particular island of this summer, this now, that now is nowhere except underfoot, moldering in that black subterranean castle of unobservable mysteries, roots and sealed seeds and the wanderings of water. This I try to remember when time's measure painfully chafes, for instance when autumn flares out at the last boisterous and, like us, longing to stay, how everything lifts, shifting from one bright vision to another, forever in these momentary pastures. Thank you all so much, and we will see you next week at 3 o'clock. Have a beautiful week.